also want to put a spotlight on the listener line at 713-278-VENT. That's 8368 on your phone. People leave us messages all the time.
Especially on the weekends, I'll see like 3 or 4 just pop up like at 8 in the morning. I'm like, what are you doing to get up that early? Sleep.
Maybe they just wanted to experience the day, but I think this is something that a lot of people will be able to relate to, because how many of us have gone back with an ex, even after an amount of time has passed, where you broke up and maybe something like a couple of years have passed and you thought, I think of giving it a try. Does it happen? All the time, but listen to what she had to say.
I don't really know if you would consider this a panic button, but it feels like one to me. I was in a relationship 5 years. We've been broken up now for a little over 2 years. We got back talking and connection, and we've been dating for like a month or two, and things have been great. But I don't really know anyone who's been in a relationship for a while, broke up, and got back together. And I don't know if it's good or bad or what to expect. It's kind of weird because you know this person, so it's not like you're dating and getting to know this person. Of course, we've changed, so we're getting to know who we are now. But it's comfortable because we already know each other. I don't know if that's why it's so easygoing. I'm just really confused. How does dating go when you've been with this person before? Like, we lived together and everything. We were engaged and we broke up. So I need help.
Have you not met producer Eric from the Rulo and Ryan show on 104.1 KRVE with his 4-time breakup?
Eric broke up, but not that long.
I was never
Not
engaged.
Yeah.
But we did live together.
But she was
out
apart.
Okay, for those that don't know,
years.
Eric and his now wife, Neggy, you've been married how many years? 17, 18 years.
Yep.
Okay. Married and broken up. Dated, broken up, lived together, broken up.
Yeah.
Broken up.
Yeah, one time when we were out of work, I lived with her for like 8 months. And I didn't have a place because I had to sell my place.
And you had to break up after that?
My rent was up, and I didn't have any money. I was broke. So I lived with her for like 8 months.
And then you broke up again?
Yeah. I think when we got the job here, then I think she felt safe. Like, okay, he's got a job. He's got money.
Wow.
You can go on your own
Stability.
way. Yeah, you can leave.
I think
Yeah,
that
I'm in my
through
apartment.
separation grows fondness. Booster and I took a short break, and it just killed me to be without him. Thank goodness I convinced him to come back.
You convinced
But
me
how
to
long
come
did it
back.
take to do that?
A couple months.
To get him to
Were
come
you the
back?
one that,
and that was to come back,
wanted to
like,
end it?
He traveled like different states, so that's a lot of work.
Oh, how
we
did
won't.
you-
We won't get into the weeds about.
No, I don't want to
But how
drudge up
does the
painful
reconnection
memories.
happen? Like, does somebody, like, who reaches out first and says, I want you back, or let's try this again? Or, because I guess for the woman who called our show, this is her first time
I think
doing
she
this
wants
to be back with an
validation
ex.
of what she wants.
Yeah, I mean, at the time it was just text messages on the phone. That's before there was very good pictures, but I mean, we still send pictures.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I feel
Snail
like
mail?
It's
her
probably
question
Kev
is,
apologizing because he did something.
some people
and-
go back because of the comfort of it, or
That's
it's
what she's
easy,
saying.
and that may not necessarily be
Right,
healthy.
don't do it
just
if
because
it's
you know who it is,
comfort.
The familiarity.
and you've been there. So,
But
I mean, it sounds
engagement, though, I feel like that's embarrassing. Like, I broke it off, and then my family, like, they were excited, and then they were like, wait, you're not together anymore?
Yeah.
And now you're back with them? As a dad, if that
I'd
happened to
be
my kid, I'd be like,
protective.
I don't want you back with this person because
There's a
they're just
reason y'all
playing
broke up.
games. You were engaged. There's a reason why you broke up, like Rilla just said.
Well, I feel like I'm on the fence on this
So
because we
even
have
though I've
had
done both.
good examples and bad examples
Right.
on this show via our listeners who call us up and tell us stories. The guy who was engaged to be married to that girl whose family basically broke them apart and said he's not good enough for you or whatever. They didn't like him. So they made her call the wedding off. And how many, I don't remember how much time passed. I think it was a year. Was it 6 months? If you're still listening, text me at 37530. They got back together. They got not secretly married, but it was like a low key, let's just get married. They've been married 10 years and he's the favorite son-in-law. So hearing stories like that, I know it's possible
Can I play
to
the
have
beginning
been
of that?
engaged and break it off and then still make it work.
Did I hear her right? Did she say they've been apart for 5 years? Let me
They
play.
dated for 5 years, I wrote down, and they took a 2-year break.
2-year break?
Now, yeah, it's been 2
Okay.
years away from each other, and now they're back
I'm just
together
curious
for
what
a month or two.
What the age is.
Yeah.
If you're 23 and then you've been away from each other for, you're 20,
A
25,
lot happens
30.
between.
Yeah.
Obviously we talk about how your gut tells you everything. And I feel like she would know this is bad if her gut was telling her, you're just in this because you know him.
Oh,
But it is possible to be engaged to somebody, have it break off, take a break, and come back to that person, and it works. Because I've heard it on our show. I haven't lived it personally, but I've heard it on our show.
Yeah, but 5 years maybe, and you're not having fun. These people are not as bad dates, bad relationships.
Right.
You realize, man, I was stupid. I should have stayed with that
Well,
person.
2 years ago when y'all broke up, you were in a different place maybe, or you were a different person. 7 years ago when y'all first met, y'all were different people.
Yeah.
Where was that one text? Somebody, they were together for 13 years, got divorced for 7, and now they're back together for almost 15.
Wow.
Oh, wow. So it can happen.
It absolutely can happen.
That would suck for your
Just
kids, though.
like-
So you're like 11 or 12, your parents get divorced. And then by the time you're in college, you get back together, I'd be like, what the?
Oh my God, that happened on our show too. Eric, remember that girl called in? She was so mad at her parents.
Remember the kids? Yeah, they were so upset because you put us through that hell.
Yeah, she was so mad. We asked adult kids to call us about their parents divorcing when they were younger. Do you feel like it was good or bad? And this one girl called in, so she was so mad at her parents because they got back together after she graduated college. And she goes, seriously, you put me through all of that since I was 10?
That sucks.
Yeah.
Just to be married now that I'm 24? She was so mad.
I don't blame
that
her.
They didn't stay divorced.
But to this woman who called in, I would say as long as you are not doing this because it's familiar, because you hate dating out there, the dating
You're lonely.
scene
Or
sucks.
because you need a plus one.
You should be in it because you love this person and you can't imagine life without them.
How about this one? This texter says, I've gone through this with my now husband. We were engaged. We planned a wedding. Then we broke up. We called everything off because his ex didn't know that she was pregnant and had a baby. But then they found each other again, and now they've been married. I don't know how long they've been married now for. And man, I bet there was a lot of layers on that. Yeah. Getting back to the wedding day.
You and Tassos always stayed together, right?
Yeah, we did. Like
No
9
breakups?
months.
You got engaged fast.
We got engaged
You weren't
fast, but
pregnant or
also
anything,
he lived somewhere else. And I feel like it's not, distance does make the heart grow fonder, because there were so many times where if he couldn't come in for the weekend or we couldn't see each other for a week, you know, it just accelerated. Plus, you know, I was 1 week before my 33rd birthday. I remember he sent me a birthday card. Like, he left me a birthday card because he goes, you know, I hope this is one of the first birthday cards of many I'm going to be able to share with you. I remember that because my birthday was the week after our blind date. And, you know, if I was 23, different result.
If I wait
would be.
longer. But it's interesting.
dated
Now,
him longer.
5 of us here, all the guys have been through that in our relationships that we're with now.
Been
We were
together,
with them,
broken
then we
up,
broke
and
up.
got
Oh,
back
yeah.
together.
And together. But Sam, you've been with them.
I've been with Mark since 2012.
So
And
there
no
was
breakups.
never any kind
Yeah,
of
so we
breakup
made no
along the
breakups.
way.
He can't leave me, even if he wanted to.
He's got no choice.
He has no
He's
choice.
chained right now to the bed.
I'm
Yeah.
obsessed.
He is.
He's got a computer in front of him just to do Zoom calls.
Right,
No.
exactly. That's how he actually goes to work.
So funny. Okay, so to the lady who called in, what are we telling her? Go with your gut and take
Make
it with a
sure
grain of
it's for
salt.
the right
Don't
reason.
let the titles and the circumstances mar your clarity.
Better hope your
if you're
family's
happy
cool.
now and it's a
Yeah,
better
yeah.
person, it's a better place, then just go with it. Let's see what happens.
Take the Rule and Ryan show with Eric right into the office with you when you stream KRBE at your desk at KRBE.com. You've got a problem. Please don't panic. Hit the panic button. Please give me the answer on the Rule and Ryan show with Eric.
KRBE.
The phone number, if you have an issue that you want us to tackle here on the Real and Ryan Show, you call our listener line. I'm not going to give that number out right now because it'll confuse everybody. We want you to call us at 833-390-KRBE to give us advice on this call.
All right. So I've been dating this guy for a year now, and I'm not going to lie. I'm a bigger girl, and I'm kind of insecure about my weight. And I know I have to do something about it, but I don't know. Life gets in the way. I feel like every month I'm kind of like, all right, well, this month will be the month. I'm going to get a gym membership, or I'm going to start that diet, or I'm going to give up those carbs, or, you know, whatever it may be. And maybe I would commit to those plans, but I don't know. He just says a lot of really like negative and unsupportive things to me. Like if I say I'm going to get that gym membership, I'll be like, all right, well, we'll see. Or, you know, I'm like, oh, I'm going to buy a bunch of healthy groceries and, you know, try to do the salad thing this week. And he'll be like, all right, well, we'll see how long that lasts. And he says that it's supposed to be like a motivator or to encourage me, but it's really discouraging to feel like the person who I want to find me attractive doesn't, and also doesn't believe in me. Kind of twofold. So I just need to know, like, what am I supposed to do about this?
Break up with him. That's what you're going to do with
That's
this.
how you lose weight. You'll lose 150 pounds.
I mean, there are
whatever
two
he
sides
weighs.
to it, though. I mean, it can be frustrating if you're in a long-term relationship and you hear people talking about things that they say they're going to do, and
It's
they
been a
never
year.
and they
It
never
hasn't
do
been 10
it.
years. It's been a year. He hasn't
Okay.
seen her pattern yet.
If the whole time someone keeps talking about something,
I'm gonna
it's like,
do
oh, I
this.
hate my
I'm gonna do
hairstyle. I hate
this.
my hairstyle. Well,
Do something
haircut.
about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's do something.
833-390-KRBE if this has ever happened to you. They are not married. They have been dating a year, and he seems to be a bit of a sabotager by just not believing in her.
I don't know if he's sabotaging.
That
I think
sabotages her mentally.
I think he's just not being supportive.
No, he's
Maybe he was supportive the first 9 months, and then after a while
He's
he's
like, oh, I've heard this one a million
All right.
times.
yeah, we'll have salads this week. Okay, fine.
You
Would
know,
it be funny if
actions
he
speak
called our
louder
show
than
and said,
words.
"Hey, that's my girlfriend. Can I tell you on my side of it?" If that's you, dude, can you call us and tell us your side?
There's
Has
two
she been
sides to
doing
every
this for
story.
9
That's what I'm
months?
saying. I'm not saying what he's doing is right. That's not right. That's not supportive. But I can always try and look at both sides. And I'm telling you, people get worn down when they hear something over and over
It's great
again.
if both people are have a goal together. Like you both want to lose a few pounds, or even if you're maybe not that person's more overweight, they want to lose 40 pounds, and you only want to lose 6. At least you can still be on that
Yeah.
journey together, and that helps push each other to
But
do
if you
things.
tell the person that has to lose 40 pounds that my goal is to lose 6 pounds, they're like, get the hell out of here.
Well, you
with
don't
that.
tell them.
Man.
You don't tell them what you're.
But if it was
okay.
different, though, I mean, you
just
can't
say,
match.
Hey, I want to get
Yeah.
healthy.
I know, but it's
Just
like
don't compare your goals.
for a 40-pound
Yeah.
journey is going to take a lot longer than a 6-pound journey.
Yeah.
A 6-pound journey, some people can lose that.
Well,
in
now with
2
all
weeks,
these
3 weeks.
Ozempic things and stuff,
Right, you can.
we're not
look
going
into
to
that.
see. There's so many skinny people now.
Let's go to I don't know, Samara or Samra. Samara. Hi, how do you say your name? Good morning.
Hi. Good morning. It's Samara.
Samara.
Hi, welcome to the Rule and Ryan Show. What's your comment for
Hi.
our panic button girl?
So my comment is, I myself am plus size. I am bigger, and I have a partner who is, we'll say normal weight. And it really just comes down to them being supportive. Even if it's 1 year, or in my case, 13 years, if she is wanting to change, even if maybe she's lying to herself, the first step is support for him to say, you know what, go. Let's get the gym membership together, or, healthy foods. Let's look up salad recipes together. But by constantly saying, oh, okay, cool, we'll see, I mean,
It's not
there's no support.
No, that's not
So
good.
then, yeah, maybe she's not following through because she has no one believing in her. So she needs someone to believe in her. And maybe if she doesn't follow through and he says, oh, see, told you, knew you couldn't do it. Okay, then you don't
Well,
need to be with that
well,
person.
told you so is that.
Nobody ever liked it.
Yeah.
I told you so.
That's
not,
for sure.
Yeah, that's not
Exactly.
How's that salad
So-
week going there?
Oh, yeah.
Looks like that Taco Tuesday got you, huh?
It's a vicious
Taco
cycle.
salad, man.
It really is.
Taco salad.
Taco salad is
forgot
not
the
healthy,
lettuce.
by
I
the
always-
way.
I always thought that was healthy when I was younger.
No, oh my God, there's so much
Yes,
fat
it
in that.
is, Rula.
All that cheese.
It's
All the
salad.
cheese
It
and
is so good for you.
All that
tortilla
sour
and all that.
cream. Okay,
Heck
Kinley's
yeah.
up
Hamburger
next.
salad.
Thanks, Samara. Kinley's up next at 833-390-KRBE. Hi, Kinley. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
What would you like to say to the woman who left us that message? What's your advice?
Honestly, break up with him. There's no reason, even if it has been 10 years, that a person you love should discourage you in any way. If you love somebody, if they say they're going to do it, you support them. Even if you know that it's not going to last long, you support them until,
Forever.
you can't,
Yes, for
you
better or worse.
You just keep, for better or worse. You just continue to support them, and you just continue to support them. I mean, that's, at the end of the day, it's all you can do.
I'm going to play devil's
Yeah,
advocate
well-
for a second here, Kinley, because we have established that woman doing a year. But let's say she said, I've been married for 12 years, and he doesn't support me in this. And then he called it, and guess what he tells us? Guys, I've tried to support her, but then she gets on these kicks and she made us buy a treadmill. It just sat there. She made us buy an elliptical. It just sat there. She made us get this gym membership, a fancy gym. It just, like the money of
Diet
it.
clubs,
He's
those
tired
clubs.
of
Yeah,
seeing
it
the
can be
money fly out the
frustrating,
window and nothing's happening. So no, I'm just like, yeah, okay, sure. We'll see. Well, how do we feel about it if that's happened then?
I'm going to spend another 10 grand. That would.
Because that happens a lot too. And Kinley, yes, I agree with you. You should support the person when they want to do that. And it's only been a year, so this guy, nah. But if this has been a long time, I bet somebody's listening right now. It's like, dude, my dude was into CrossFit, and then he bought all these crazy like kettle weights, and all this stuff is in our garage.
Like that
Doesn't do
runner we talked to
anymore.
earlier this week.
Yeah, something that you thought was
Yeah,
cheap,
but,
and it
at the
it
same
ended up
time-
expensive.
At the same time, I mean, what is the man saying, instead of saying, oh, yeah, we'll see, why can't it turn me into, okay, well, what can I do to help you continue? You
Right.
want to do it. I see that you struggle, and you always stop after, 2-3 weeks. What can I do to help? With my husband, I've lost I lost over 125 pounds
Nice.
in a year.
Wow.
Congrats.
And
Awesome.
my husband supported me by also, losing weight, watching what he ate around me, not offering me junk food. He offered me, healthy alternatives. When he wanted to go eat, he was like, oh, I'm going to get some ice cream. Would you like something, sweet but a little bit healthier for you?
Nice.
Well, yeah, I mean,
That's
think
great,
about it. If
Finley.
we switched this to,
That's
say,
great.
if we said this was
Pretty
alcohol,
sweet.
and they said, I'm really struggling with alcohol,
Yeah, I wouldn't
this
be
is the
drinking
year
in the
that I
house.
want to give it up, you're not going to sit there and pop a beer in front of your
Exactly,
spouse. You're not going to
exactly.
do that.
Kinley, thanks for calling in. Laura is standing by to tell our panic button caller to just deal with it.
Okay.
Hi, Laura. Good morning.
Hi.
Hi.
So I myself I was a bigger girl, and my husband is he's been supportive in that. Even when I was almost 300 pounds, he was like, baby, you're still beautiful. And so now that I've gone on this weight loss journey and I've lost all this weight, he still calls me beautiful, but he still will give me ice cream or, whatever. He doesn't want to go on this weight loss journey with me. So at the end of the day, if you want to feel better about yourself, that's going to be on you.
Yep.
And you're going to have to find that within to say, okay, this is something that I want. So I'm going to work my butt off no matter what anybody says, because there's going to be unsupportive people wherever you go.
Right.
Have you
It sucks that
communicated?
main person
Have you
is not
communicated with
supportive.
your husband and said, hey, why are you offering me ice cream when I'm trying to do this?
I mean, I have, but it's not something that bothers me. It honestly, for me, I realize that my husband is going to love me either way. My
And plus, it's not like you're never going to have ice cream
300
ever again
pounds.
just because you lost weight. You're allowed to
No,
have ice cream.
well, and that's not realistic.
Right.
To say, okay, well, I'm going to have salad this week. That's not somebody. If you look at somebody who's in a healthy, weight, they're not eating salads every day.
Right.
You have to make time to actually give yourself grace and say,
Sustainable.
okay, you know what? I want to live my life still. And so I've got to be, if I'm going to eat ice cream, I'm going to eat it in moderation. I'm not going to have ice cream for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But if I have ice cream once a week, I'm not going to, me eating one bowl of ice cream didn't make me 300 pounds.
Do you see you lost all this weight? Like when you look in the mirror, do you see yourself as the skinny person, or do you like sometimes screw with your mind and like
You're
you
still buying like the bigger size.
yeah,
You
you
get that
still feel
body
like
dysmorphia.
Yeah. Does that
I
happen?
see yes, I have like reverse body dysmorphia. Like I look at myself and there's sometimes where I'll wake up and I'll be like, man, I've really done well. But then there's other times where I feel like I'm still 300 pounds.
That's what- you look in the mirror,
because
do you
your
see
mind doesn't
angles?
catch up
I
with
think
your
everybody does that,
weight. It does not
No.
catch up with your weight.
Or you eat
No, well,
something at
even
nighttime,
like-
and your belly gets bigger, and then the next morning you're like, wait, it's all flat. And
Feeling
Well, that's
so-
great,
mine,
Laura. We are proud of
I,
you.
Thank you. I still try to buy clothes that I would have worn because I was a 3X for 4 or 5 years, and so now I'm in a size large, and I still will reach for the bigger clothes, and then when I get home and they swallow me, I regret it.
Oh, yeah.
Always,
Yeah,
always.
that's-
Sure.
And the crazy thing about the weight loss journey is the pendulum swings both ways, honey. You always say, I always would joke, I mean, in the ups and downs of my own personal life, Laura, you probably relate to this too, is you just are wondering when is it going to go the other way. You hope it doesn't get there, but eventually you just can't keep up. You're in mind beast zone mode for the gym and the gym and the gym and the gym. And then maybe burnout happens or... you just hope that you can keep it up, but it
Or
just
you're going
comes and
shopping for
goes.
water, and you go to Costco, and then you see those big jar of chocolate
The Shane
almonds.
size bag of the Girl
That
Scout
big-
cookie almonds.
Oh,
Yeah,
those-
well, they
and I
do
bought
that
the-
on
I bought that
purpose.
chicken skin guys for us to try flop.
Oh, God,
Oh,
no.
I
God.
tried some of
Are
it.
you
Holy
trying?
crap, it is so good.
It's chips
Are you
made out
trying
of
to make
fried
us-
chicken skin.
13 grams of protein, no sugar.
The part they tell you to throw away from the chicken.
The best part of the chicken,
They
fried
made a
chicken.
bag
Oh,
of
my
it.
I bought 2
gosh.
bags in case I liked it, so I could
How
bring
was
one
the
in.
protein? That was like all fat.
13
the
grams of
chicken
protein.
Skin.
I'll bring it in. I'll show you.
There's protein in
It
that?
doesn't like when you smell it. It's like oh, it's chicken, but it tastes just
Overwhelming.
like a.
Tastes like a what?
Chicken, like a fried chicken.
That's
It's so
disturbing.
damn good.
Huh. Well, I'll try it.
I'll bring it in on Tuesday.
But once again, like all
Sam's a
panic
try.
buttons, I think the key is communication. You need to tell your man, like, look, what you're telling me is not helping me. Could you please cease doing that? Support me or get out of the way.
Yeah, 713 is the area code for the listener line. 713-278
It sounds easy,
vent.
but do people just do that in your relationship? I'm going to say this to your face like that.
Well, you have to speak if something is bottled up inside you.
Yeah, you got to let them know at least.
You miss a day, you miss a lot. Play it loud.
out every morning.
The Rule and Ryan Show.
713-278-VENT. You can call about anything.
I'm like, come on, just start. Pull them during the break. If you get them, put them in there. And panic buttons are tough because we did one Friday, but it was like, was that a week ago?
Yeah, when was the panic? It was Friday. We're a little behind on that.
Well, hopefully we solved your problem in a timely manner.
Yes, you can call for all reasons. You can call to make comments on something we talked about. You can call because you need our help with something, or you have a question and you just want to get our opinion on it. Is that the lane that we're in for this one?
Yeah, because she's a single girl, but she hangs out with her friends who are married, and she's got a bit of an issue and wants to know if she's being kind of a jerk for this.
I have am I the type question. I'm almost over asking my married friends to do something with me because as a single female, most of my friends are either married or in very serious relationships, like engagements. Whenever I ask my friend to do something, like for example, if I have a friend named Jill and her fiance's name is Eric, I'll ask Jill, hey Jill, do you want to visit me in 2 months? Jill will say, yeah, is Eric invited? And it's like, did I say you and Eric? Why do people assume you means y'all? If your boss said you have to go to a meeting tomorrow, you wouldn't honestly say, okay, is Eric invited? That makes me feel like the bad guy because I invited you. I wanted a girls' weekend. Y'all are all married. What do you think?
That's a good point.
That's a good point because it is odd when
It
somebody
makes you feel bad.
Yeah, because also you feel like if your friends are going to invite you somewhere, well, is it just you? Like if I was going to tell Sam to come over, let's say I told Sam, hey, Sam, why don't you come over this afternoon with Santiago? But Mark's home, her husband, and I don't say bring Mark also. Is that weird for you? If I say you and Santiago come over?
No, because you already told me who you want over.
But what if she didn't know?
It's
Maybe
me
she
and
thought,
Santi.
maybe she assumed he was at work. And what if he wanted him to
He's
come over
not.
though?
Okay, let's say
And
it's
then, like,
nighttime. Let's say it's nighttime.
Why do you leave your
Let's say
husband
it's
home?
Tuesday night, and I'm going to say, hey, Sam, before Santiago's bedtime, bring him over for crunch time, like 5 o'clock, 5 to 7, come over with Santiago. Would you say, okay, is Mark invited?
Yes. If it was nighttime, yes. If it's during the day,
But
no,
nighttime.
I wouldn't think about that. But listening to this call, I think the way that she should say it is, hey, I really want a girls' trip. I think when you put that in,
Or girl night out.
or girls' night or something
Yeah,
like that.
why wouldn't you just say that?
Then it's you're already saying you don't want him invited without saying it. Because instantly I thought of this and I was like, oh my God, my best friend Jules is not dating anybody. Does she get annoyed if I'm like, hey, can I bring Mark? But it's like,
well, not.
Well, that's a
it's
different
not
scenario
always a
because
girls' night. You
she's
just
friends
wanna
with
have
both of you.
dinner.
No,
How is it any different than this?
They're besties, not like my wife's besties with her friends. And a lot of times I just say, you guys go. I never assume.
yeah.
That you're
if anything,
invited.
I push. I said, you guys go because I don't really want. You guys can do your.
For those just
talking.
tuning in, let's reset.
Right.
This girl called the listener line, and she wants to know if she's the jerk. If she has to specify to her married friends, I just want to spend time with you, don't bring your husband. How do you handle that? And that's a great topic because that's happened to me multiple times over the last few years. I'll be invited somewhere, and I don't know if they meant like somebody in the group chat
You
would
or-
be like,
yeah.
are the husbands coming?
There's a
or
thought. Communicate.
the dudes
Why don't you
coming?
guys just
But
like say,
she
hey?
does, but if she feels bad, like she's the bad guy. She said,
Right, because you could
Yeah.
say to your friend group,
Don't
hey,
bring
why
your-
don't we go to dinner on January the 8th? Let's go to dinner at 7 o'clock at this place, January the 8th. Who's in? Now, if that was just a girl's, like a text thread with your girlfriends, I would assume then it's just the girlfriends.
"Oh yeah."
The person that's throwing that out there has to say, husbands included. But if you haven't seen your friend in a long time and she says, why don't you come over on Saturday night? Then I'd be like, okay, Saturday night. I'll come over. But then I'm not going to ask,
Right.
do I bring my husband? Because she just told me to come over.
And
but
it's your
then
Saturday night with your
weird.
husband.
But it's
It's like-
Saturday night because your husband's home.
If you
And
don't see him
the
all
thing
week,
is,
and
when
then-
you get married, you're like a team.
Yeah, that's
Right, so
y'all's
how is it
time
rude
together.
then for the wife? Let's say I said,
Yes.
okay, great, I'll see you at 7 o'clock. And then I don't say anything to my husband. I say, hi, I have dinner plans with my friend on Saturday night. And then I get to her house, and then she's like, oh, you didn't bring Tassos?
Right.
And I'm like, what? You didn't tell me to bring Tassos?
Yes.
I think you almost got to just say that. But problem is, she's single and everyone else isn't.
Right.
So maybe they all want to do things with their mates, but they're like, oh, Sam over there doesn't have anybody. So
Yeah.
then they end up not even inviting you because they don't want to go through that headache.
Right.
This
because
is
then
why
it's like,
friendships drift apart, too.
you're always the third wheel.
Well, she just
fifth
said in her
wheel. It's
call
like-
that's why she's having a hard time even hanging out with her married friends because it's always like the married friend and the mate. I just want to hang out
Like
with
when
the
you're
married
the
friend,
odd
not the
person
mate.
out, and I'm not saying it's odd to be single. It's it's a personal choice. But I mean, if you are single and all your friends are married, eventually you guys are going to kind of drift apart.
That's not always true.
I mean, I think a lot of times
unless you're hitting on the husbands.
No.
This texter at 37530 says, I totally agree, ! There's nothing worse than inviting some girls to a wine tasting and then one brings her husband along. Happens to me all the time.
Nobody wins because that guy is miserable.
At least ask him.
Yes.
Ask your friend.
Hey, what's the vibe? Are spouses coming? Or is it just a girls? Like, I would just say that.
Nothing wrong with that.
And just say it and go, I'm fine either way. If you're fine.
Right.
Just to clarify.
Yes, because I did a whole wine thing for Jules' birthday, and I assumed Mark wasn't coming. I was like, oh, okay, you can watch Santiago. It's a girls' wine thing. And she's like, no, Mark's included. I was like,
well, what if Mark wasn't included? Maybe like Kevin and Booster just want to have girl time with you.
Without Mark?
Yeah. Not your baby and not your husband.
Yeah,
just you.
Happen.
No.
Like a Saturday night. They just want you to come over, hang out, have some drinks. No kids, because they're not.
No dog.
We're not.
No dog.
We have nails everywhere.
If Santi and Misty can't go, like if one of them can't go, I'm not going.
Okay, that's the other thing I was going to say. Your next level.
The dog and the baby.
Yeah. She's like, whatever. Mark will get over it.
Mark will get over it.
But the next level to this call is every time I do an invitation, they want to know if their kids can come. That's the next level that she's going to face.
Yes.
Because if you have a party and you're like, okay, well, I've got 2 kids, so are the kids invited? Because you also have kids. Is it no kids or kids? If you know the person very well, you could just say, hey, are you doing kids for this party or no? I need to get a babysitter. But sometimes they have kids and their sister has kids, and then they invite you, but they don't clarify. So then you're like, am I going to bring my kids? So I just come by myself. And like, oh, you never bring your kids? And like, no, you didn't tell me to. I am very specific about invitations.
Brian said, you got to communicate.
Yeah.
And it's more of a
I think
female
just
thing,
ask.
too, because, like, if one of my guy friends, hey, dude, you want to go out? We're going to get some beers. All right, how do you know? It's like a guy's night out. Like, he doesn't have to clarify, like, oh, don't bring your girlfriend or don't bring your fiance.
It all depends on Saturday night, though. Like Sam said, I can't listen. I have to ask my wife first.
Well,
like,
yeah.
Do we have plans? Do you want to?
Do we have
I feel bad
plans?
leaving her alone on a Saturday night.
Right. Like during the week, maybe it's a little different, but like on the weekend, I feel like that's like the time I get to actually spend with my husband.
Yeah.
Because he's traveling all the time, and normally on the weekends he's home. So it's like I mean, your
spouse is your
Probably
best friend
not.
in the
Let's
world.
roll
Why
that back
wouldn't
for a
you want to
second.
be with them? I
So
mean,
Sam, hold on.
Yeah.
If your husband was traveling all week, let's say.
Yes.
Because this is a true event in your life.
Yeah.
And Saturday night, your friend says, I want to go to dinner with you. You wouldn't be like, you're going to have the dog and the baby because I have some me time for me tonight on Saturday. Or you'd be like, no, I haven't seen you. When would you have your time with this girl?
Ooh. That's probably why I'm a bad friend. That's probably why I'm
because
a bad
you won't
friend.
pick that girl to have dinner
No,
with.
because my husband, he's my best friend. He's the number one.
as it should be.
So I'm going to probably pick him over.
Especially because you haven't seen him because he
But
travels.
I haven't seen him. I mean, the best thing about like my best friend Jules that I spend all the time with is like she loves when Mark goes out of town because she's always over. So
That's
it's
when
like
you'll have your time.
that's when we have our
trashy
time.
shows.
Yes, exactly. And eat queso for dinner instead of actually having dinner. Like that's when we get to have. Shut up! Don't touch us.
Eat a bowl of cheese for dinner.
Literally, that's
that's why you're not invited over.
Saltines and ketchup.
No.
Dip. It's called dip.
I've been guaranteed Kevin's already got a pot roast in the oven or your
For
crock pot tonight.
probably.
Oh, I've brought a crock pot to her house before.
Absolutely, he has.
I think he's got that.
And I had to
do you
do the
have-
sides.
Do you have emergency food standing by for those invites?
I got some frozen chicken tenderloins that could defrost in 15 minutes.
See, I'm glad you use your food in your freezer because in my house, the freezer is where the food goes to die.
The bottom?
I'm just like, I'm never going to defrost this ever. Like, ever. It's going to take up a space for 2 years. And they'll be like, there was a freeze and we lost power and the freezer.
I got to throw it all away.
You take care of a lot before most people even hit snooze.
Take the rest of the morning to laugh at us. The Rule and Ryan Show with Eric is live on your smart speaker. Just tell it to play KRB.